well done. And I'm also here to tell you that those same characteristics, your character, integrity, courage, and selflessness will go on to serve you well in whatever it is you're going to do in life. And I know that's going to be a lot, so congratulations. Before I have you sit down, though, I would like to say that I did brush up on my joint speak. We fight as a joint nation, as a joint military. That's the way we go to war. That's the way we win for America. So I did brush up on a little bit of my joint jargon, so I'll just test this out here. Our Army reps, please let me see your hands. Anybody? Yeah? So I got a hooah for you. Is that good?
That's good.
All right. Marine Corps reps and veterans. Yud! Is that right? All right. Air Force and Navy. Thank you. Thank you. Don't have a whole lot to say as far as a motivational slogan, but for our Air Force and Navy, I will tell you this. Our golf course and our pool at Nellis Air Force Base are phenomenal. Come on out and join us. Right. Before I ask you to take a seat here, I just want to say congratulations, and I would like to give you all a round of applause. The last thing I ask you to do is, if you have a family member in the room or your mentor, I want you to reach out right now and give them a hug. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Everybody in the military or associated with the military knows that winning and success are a team sport. And I would like to pay special recognition to Judge Stevens at this point, the general that's in charge of this awesome program. So Judge Stevens, sir, I'd like to recognize you for your leadership and also for your outstanding preparation to our United States. So a round of applause.
Thanks, Colonel, but it really is this whole team around me and the mentors that all make it worthwhile and make it happen. The VA, the Vet Center,
The judge brings up a good point, and that's the last one that I wanted to make, which was right now I would like all the mentors and family members and the staff of the Veterans Treatment Court to stand up right now. Please. Mentors, staff, instructors, true heroes. Thank you. Yeah, I have just a little story I'd like to share with you that I think you'll find appropriate for today. One of my favorite quotes from history is from one of our former presidents, JFK. And JFK said this: "History will never accept difficulty as an excuse. Will never accept difficulties as an excuse." And I think that's important because in the face of adversity, which I think our graduates, along with all of us that have been in the military, we know hardship, we know adversity, we know perseverance. I would like to tell you a little story about a friend of mine, Lorenzo Magana. Lorenzo, retired Master Sergeant from our United States Air Force. I know some of the folks in here, some of our veterans, have spent some time up on the range at Nellis in the NTTR. We have several locations up there that we do some fairly intense operations that are classified. Lorenzo was ground floor of that. He was, in his day and age, what came to be an IT specialist. So he knew how to fix and work on computers and make things happen. And that got to be very important as I got to know him. And the judge had mentioned my previous assignment at Nellis Air Force Base. I was in the weapons school. And I got the great pleasure of knowing at that time Master Sergeant retired Lorenzo Magana. And Lorenzo was always a personal hero of mine. Courageous, selfless, persevered through the hardest possible difficulties. Unfortunately, my dear friend Lorenzo had a rare form of cancer. And Lorenzo came to work day in and day out with a smile on his face and put his shoulder to the plow and got the job done every day as a leader in my squadron. So he was in charge of about 20 young airmen Those airmen ranged anywhere from the age of about 19 years old to about 24, so very, very young, and came to him with a lot of life's problems. And Lorenzo was in literally a life or death struggle battle with his cancer, going through a lot of treatments, surgeries after surgery, and very seldom did Lorenzo miss one single day of work. And I always found it inspirational to talk to Lorenzo. I showed up at work early, that's what we do in the military, and Lorenzo made his rounds. He was one of those guys, wise old cranium is I think what a lot of us would call him. And you would consider yourself privileged if your office was one of the offices that Lorenzo would stop in and he would share 5 minutes with you about life. It might have been about work, it might have been about his family, it might have been about his passion, which was one of my passions, which is the Dallas Cowboys. It's going to be a rough year for us again. Those were always phenomenal times. And Lorenzo was telling me about one particular mentor session he had. We call it a mentor session. Some might call it wall-to-wall counseling with one of his young 20-year-old airmen. The airman comes in and sits down and says, Lorenzo, I've got so many problems. My girlfriend, my car, something's not working. I don't like my coworkers. And Lorenzo would sit there and he would keep this airman locked in eye contact with him for a couple of minutes. And Lorenzo would say, Airman, I just finished 4 hours of chemo. I've got surgery scheduled for next week. And I'm here doing my job 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Tell me about your problems again. And it's amazing how something like that will adjust your perspective and your outlook on life. Surely we all have problems and challenges, but that courage, that selfless service, and that perseverance, I think, are absolutely key ingredients to any of us that are in the military. So I do want to thank all the veterans, especially our veterans that are here that are going to graduate today, because I guarantee you those same key attributes, courage, selflessness, the ability to persevere through hardship, to endure, those are going to be key ingredients. I guarantee you that will carry you to success in whatever it is you do in the future. Now, unfortunately, Lorenzo passed away in 2014, actually 2013. As the judge said, I was in Korea at the time. I was actually able to fly back home to Las Vegas and participated in the